You are watching KEVU 25 News Now at 10.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Amaya Norman. Texas Governor Greg Abbott has signed a Senate Bill 2, the Education Saving Account Program, into law on Saturday afternoon, creating the nation's largest day one school choice program. The new ESA program allows approved families to use public funds for private schools' expenses like tuition, supplies, and travel. In its first year, it's funding at $1 billion, with each student receiving about $10,000 to 85% of the state average. Special education students can get up to $30,000, while homeschoolers may receive up to $2,000. Lawmakers could change the funding cap in future sessions.
I am about to sign into law the largest day one school choice program in the United States of America. Today is the culmination of a movement that has swept across our state and across our country.
Now, Texas House Democrats fought against the ESA program, arguing it would cause public schools to lose out on state dollars, since that money is determined by attendance. Voters in Victoria have selected the next mayor of Victoria after tonight's election. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting is here to break down the mayoral election and present the winner. Trenton.
Thanks, Maya. Dwayne Crocker will continue his post as mayor after his victory over Jacob Saucy Sauceda. Crocker won with over 80% of the vote. This is the second victory in a row for Mayor Crocker after winning last year's special election to finish out an active term. I spoke with him earlier and he expressed his excitement to be able to continue many of the projects the city has been working on.
Obviously, I'm very happy with the results. I think it speaks to people feel like that the city's going the right direction. I appreciate the trust that you place in me, and I will continue to do this job to the best of my ability and see if we can build Victoria and grow Victoria and keep us going on the right direction.
Mayor Crocker hopes to continue focusing on different initiatives, such as the transfer of the University of Houston Victoria to the A&M system, which he says is moving forward. Mayor Crocker begins his new term immediately. He'll be up for re-election in 4 years in 2029. Maya, back to you.
Thank you so much, Trenton, and congratulations to our new mayor. In the race for Victoria District 6, the 6th seat, incumbent Margaret Pruitt faced a challenge from Andy Rokovich. With a 69.2% of the total vote, Margaret Pruitt has won the race for District 6.
I just want to let them know that they can continue to entrust me with the students and their future, and that I look forward to amazing things to come.
Pruitt continues her run as a school board member for Victoria ISD. After Kristen West dropped out just 2 days before the election, the race for Victoria ISD District 7 seat was down to 2 candidates, Joshua Moore and Michael Costello. They were competing for the seat held by board president Mike Mercer, who was not seeking re-election. With 50.9% of the votes, Mickey Costello has won the race for District 7. West received 12.7% of the votes, while Moore received 36.4%.
Victoria, there's some good things coming our way. We need to get more people involved. Our turnout was less than 10% in this local election. Would have liked to have seen more, but I'm very happy with what we got and who showed up, and I really appreciate every vote that we got today.
All right, now residents in Bloomington have voted on whether to incorporate their community, and the results are in. With 187 votes in favor and 60 against, the measures has passed to incorporate. This follows a petition that includes the entire town. Voters in Victoria have decided on a proposed funding measure for a renovation to the Victoria Community Center. The measure, which called for a vehicle rental tax and an increase in the hotel occupancy tax, aimed to help fund the $35 million project without raising property taxes. With 2,308 votes in favor and 1,241 against, the measure has passed. Now votes in Calhoun County have decided on the proposal to create a hospital district to support Memorial Medical Center, with 690 votes in favor and 681 against. The measure has passed with a total of 50.3% of the votes in favor for it. The proposal has established a taxing entity funded by property tax to help provide constant funding for the hospital. In the race for Calhoun County Independent School District members at large, Dana Dorchick has won the 61.5% of the total vote, defeating David Gaskamp. In the Calhoun Port Authority's Commissioner District, 5 race has resulted in with both Roger Martinez Jr. and Thomas Guerra each receiving a 62 vote. The position that helps oversees the region economic engine at the Port of Calhoun. In the race for Calhoun County District 3 seat, Tyler McCuffey has won with 65.5% of the total votes, defeating Renee Flores. And the race for Cuero's councilman at large saw Russell Mobley, Adam Arreo, and Charles Toonley battling for the position. Adam Arreo has claimed victory with a 52.9% of the vote. Voters have elected Sean P. Douglas to the Cuero ISD District 1 seat with 57% of the vote over Mary Jane Henson, 42.5%. In the race for director of the Cuero Regional Hospital, Martin Liskey III has claimed the title with 42.1% of the votes against Faye Shepard and Pedro Gonzalez. In the run for Edna District 6, William E. Alex, Edward Sonny Strelick, Wesley Freeland were all competing for the position, with Edward Sonny Strelick claiming the title with a 61.7% of the total votes. The District 3 position saw Christopher Chris Crenshaw and Mac Long in the running, with Chris Crenshaw winning 65.8% of the total votes. And Seadrift has elected a new council person today. After a 5-way race, Kenneth Reese came out on top with a 29.5% of the votes. The other candidates in the race were Tracy Johnson, Richard Battles, Tanya Cunningham, and Christy Kosser. In the race for Yorktown ISD School Board Trustee, Aaron Koopman secured a win with a 24.3% of the vote. And this brings us to your viewer poll today. What local issues matter most to you this election? School district mayoral taxes, Bloomington. And at 56% is taxes, and still at the second was school district at 36%. Well, we still want to hear from you. You can continue to vote in our viewer poll. Just come to our website at crossroadstoday.com, and thank you for voting. As a local election results are now. Now, finally, we're joined us with a political expert to break down the election. Thank you for taking your time out to join with us. So now we're going to get to it. So we're going to start with the mayor race. So do you expect the voting turnout to be like how it was?
Yeah, I was surprised that our voting turnout overall was actually more than it was last summer. So I think that's the good news, is last summer it was 7.5%. This year it's 8.6%. The bad news, Amaya, is that we've got 52,000 registered voters and only 4,400 of them voted. So there's still a lot more folks who can participate, but it's nice that we are making progress getting more people to participate.
Yes, most definitely. So now we're going to move forward to our mayor race. So do you think Crocker background gave him an advantage of winning? You know, he's been in this position, he knows the field. So do you think his background gave him this advantage?
Absolutely, and he can point to a record of things that he's actually done in the last year, which is a tremendous advantage. And before he was mayor, he was a city councilman, so he has that record as well. that experience and record, I think, means a lot to the voters because they see this person as being knowledgeable. He doesn't need on-the-job training. He's been there, he's done that. And as was mentioned earlier in the news report, he's working on some very major things right now that could totally transform Victoria. So I think having that experience definitely helped Mayor Crocker.
Yes, most definitely. Now to Sauceda. Now with him having his, well, you know, he's actively involved with volunteering in the community, and he's also well known as a friendly, you know, Victorian. So do you think, like, what do you believe was the disadvantage here? Now he mentioned that let's make a difference, let's stop sticking to the tradition, let's make a change. What do you think was the disadvantage for his race here?
Well, the first thing I'll say about Jacob is that he should be really proud. When he ran for mayor before, he got 70 votes. This time he got 657 votes. That's a tremendous increase in just a year's time. So he should be really, really proud of that. I think what hurts him potentially is the lack of experience and the lack of record to point to. You can have a lot of great ideas and a lot of great initiatives and a lot of great plans, but for voters, they like to see hard and fast results. They like to see a record, an experience, and I think if Jacob gets more of that, if he gets a record and experience, then perhaps he can do better in the future. But I think it definitely helped Mayor Crocker to be able to point to some very specific things he's done both as a councilman and as mayor. And Jacob really couldn't point to those things other than to speculate and to make plans. So I think that was the disadvantage. But still, he should be really proud in increasing that vote total as he did.
Yes, but thank you for joining us, our political expert Woodrow, and thank you for giving us your time. Now, let's go on to Trey with the first look at our forecast this weekend. Trey, how would our weekend be looking like?
Well, looking like it'll be very nice coming up tomorrow, especially in the morning time. Nice, cool temperatures to wake up to. Current temperature on the outside, 64 degrees. With a few high clouds in the sky, otherwise mostly clear. And the dew point's 56 degrees. It's quite dry in the upper levels of the atmosphere and also at the surface where we are here, causing it to be a little cooler for your night tonight and early tomorrow morning. Rain chances returning yet again next week. What days exactly? We'll talk about that later on in the full forecast. Amaya?
About 300 South Texas residents near Boca Chica Beach, mostly SpaceX employees, will decide whether to incorporate their neighborhood, known as a Starbase, into a full-fledged city. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website at crossroadstoday.com. One person is dead after a small plane crashed into two homes in Simi Valley, California, near Los Angeles on Saturday afternoon. Officials say it was a small single-engine plane. The pilot did not survive. Police say it is now not yet known if there were additional people in the plane. They say the plane hit two homes that caught fire, but firefighters were able to put the fire out. There were people in both homes at the time, but no one inside was hurt. And we'll see you right after the break. Welcome back. Even as the Trump administration is proposing massive cuts to domestic spending, plans are in works for a massive military parade through the streets of Washington. But the cost of that June 14th celebration is unclear. Here are the details.
One day after President Trump said he wanted to rename Veterans Day, the White House backtracking, saying Victory Day for World War I will be an additional proclamation and not a replacement of the holiday that honors all our nation's veterans. As for the president's plans to make May 8th Victory Day for World War II, according to the Congressional Research Service, establishing a federal holiday or national observance requires the passage of a law. Though the Trump administration is planning a massive military celebration through the streets of Washington to mark the 250th anniversary of the U.S. Army, the cost of the June 14th parade remains unclear. But it comes as the president proposes $163 billion in cuts to domestic spending. His $1.7 trillion budget proposal for next year slashes half the CDC budget from $9 billion to $4 billion. What's your message to Americans who look at this proposal and see these major cuts in health spending and who are worried about the future of the CDC and for critical research?
We believe it's necessary to reform the CDC, to narrow its focus, to actually go after infectious disease.
Energy programs gutted as well, including an initiative to help low-income Americans pay their energy bills. Republican Mike Lawler of New York calling those energy cuts reckless, saying it will leave his constituents out in the cold. Meanwhile, EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin has announced a significant reorganization of his agency, including the creation of a new Office of Applied Science and Environmental Solutions, which he says will put science at the forefront of the agency's rulemaking. Zeldin says this reorganization will save about $300 million. Selena Wang, ABC News, Washington.
Chinese e-commerce site Temu is overhauling its U.S. shipping model after a key tariff exemption expired Friday. The company says all U.S. sales will now go through local sellers and is actively recruiting more to join the platform. Temu had relied on the de-mini rules, which allow duty-free shipments under $800, but that exemption ended under a recent executive order. Temu says its items from local warehouses won't have added import charges. And the Trump administration plans to cut up to 1,200 employees at the CIA and other intelligence agencies. Two sources familiar with the situation tell NBC News the cuts will take place over several years. The cuts will happen through buyout options, early retirements, and scaling back hiring. But no mass firing are planned. The CIA declines to comment on the report cutbacks. President Donald Trump shared an AI-generated image of himself basically as the Pope on social media Friday. The image was then shared by official White House account on social media. The post comes days after he joked with reporters that he will like to be the next Pope, before stating he didn't have a preference on who the next Pope should be. Pope Francis died of a stroke and heart failure on Easter Monday. Trump attended his funeral last weekend. Meanwhile, preparations are underway at the Vatican for next week's Pope Points, where cardinals will elect the next leader of Rome's Catholic Church.
Okay, let's take a review of the day. 82 degrees was the high today. Pretty nice day. Night low 64 degrees. It'll be cooler than this coming up for tomorrow morning. Nice and cool spell for the morning time. More sunshine. But we're under normal for rainfall for the month and for the year. Rain chances on the rise again? Yes, there will be. We'll talk about that coming up in your full forecast. Saturday evening, everyone. Trey Mining here. And no rain in the area currently. Some high clouds passing on through west to east. So it'll be a pretty dry atmosphere currently on the outside now with a lot of clear skies around there. That's the ingredients for gradational cooling, allowing those temperatures to be nice and cool coming up for tomorrow morning in the morning time. So we have to take advantage of that. So weather threat, this is for Monday into Tuesday actually, not today or tomorrow. This is coming in again from the west. So we have a changing weather pattern which include slight risk of severe thunderstorms coming up by the midweek time frame. So something to keep in mind in making your plans. And taking a look at the future tracker here. Nice day for your day tomorrow, but looking at your day on Sunday, pretty dry around here, but moisture increasing again up from the south and southeast off the Gulf of Mexico as well, and coming in from Mexico, and giving us some rain chances kind of starting out west and becoming more numerous as you head toward your day on Monday, coming in from the southwest again. So the rain pattern will continue to be a factor in our forecast coming up the next few days. Starting off with temperatures in the 60s currently. By your Saturday morning, it was cool, nice and cool this morning, with temperatures in the 80s for daytime highs, about 85 or 86 degrees or so. And then we're cooling off again into the 60s currently. And look at this, tomorrow morning, lows in the 50s, maybe some mid-50s up there in Hallettsville to Gonzales area, to maybe the Yoakum and Cuero. And then warming up nicely under sunshine with highs in the 80s again for your Sunday afternoon. Then clouds increasing for your day on Monday with another rain chances after that. We see the northerly winds coming in off the continent, keeping the dry air in place, causing temperatures to be a little cooler coming up for your overnight tonight and to your day tomorrow. Nice and sunny day for your Sunday. And the moisture returns off the Gulf, bringing that humidity back in again and setting the stage of rainfall to take place coming up for next week. Cuero, sunny skies for your day tomorrow. Get out there and enjoy it. High temperatures in the mid-80s or so, southerly winds by the afternoon, bringing back that moisture. Puerto Vaca, sunny skies, with high temperatures in the 80s or so, low to mid-80s by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then for Victoria, sunny skies again for your day tomorrow and Sunday, highs in the mid-80s or so. And the extended forecast for us here, keeping it nice for your day Sunday, with mostly sunny skies. Rain chances coming in for your day Monday, especially the second half of the day. And possible alert days coming up for Tuesday and Wednesday for a slight risk of severe weather during that time period. As we get closer in time, we get a better handle on that. Lasting through Thursday, and again by the Friday and Saturday, sunshine returns with highs in the 80s. Take a look at this right here. This is the QR code. Get your smartphone, scan the code, see right there on your screen. It'll take you to a web page. You can download our app, News, Weather, and Sports at your fingertips. Very easy, convenient, free of charge to have on your phone. Be connected with us with all this news, sports, and weather you need to know. Speaking of sports, I see Ray Robinson over there.
Thank you, Trey. And weather has most certainly been one of the stories for playoff baseball here in the Crossroads. But see which teams we're talking about and more coming up in sports. So last night we heard from Ganado athlete Austin Pena before his big state track meet in the 400-meter dash. And just like you heard from him last night, the effort and hard work takes you a long way. And in his case, 400 meters in a short amount of time. Austin's words was evident in his performance, finishing third place in this morning at state. Austin beat his regional numbers with a time of 49.53. Previously, he recorded a 50.75 in the regional Kingsville track meet. And on to Yoakum High School, and send a big congratulations to Jayla Hessler, as she is the Class 3A state champion in triple jump, jumping for 40 feet and 3 1/4, making her the state champ. Her teammate in Xavier Barnett, a name we're pretty familiar with, finished 6th place for the boys with a distance of 44 and 10 inches in distance. And on to some playoff baseball here in the Crossroads, starting off with the Industrial Cobras. The Cobras begin their postseason taking on Poth last night in a doubleheader. The Cobras take the series, winning both games in a sweep down in Sinton last night. First game was a close one, final score 3-2. In the second game, the Cobras continued their winning streak with the final score 4-1. In the anticipated playoff baseball game between the Ganado Indians and Refugio Bobcats continued their series today after beating Refugio, final score 10-0. And thankfully, in the Indians' case, there will not be a Game 3. They beat the Bobcats in Game 2, final score 5-2. Another playoff game that was impacted by the weather was the Victoria East and Milby game. After splitting the series on Thursday night at Riverside, the Titans was the road team yesterday, battling against Milby when a weather delay caused the game to end. But the Titans got back to where they left off, beating Milby today, final score 9-1, advancing to the playoffs. And the weather wasn't playing a part in the Warriors' opening playoff matchup against Galena Park. The Warriors beat Galena to kick off their series, final score 3-1 yesterday. And the Warriors would then go on to complete the sweep, winning the second game today, final score 18-7. And folks, looks like we're getting a Game 7 as the Houston Rockets look to come back from a 3-1 deficit after beating the Golden State Warriors, final score 115-107. This team has been a different team at the end of Game 4, and the roster is known for its youth stepping up, but last night was a big one for the veterans to play some crucial basketball. Here's a word from head coach Ime Udoka.
Defense travels, our physicality and our awareness has improved throughout the series, and in general, I think our young guys aren't really fazed by things. They just continue to play through it, and like you guys mentioned, they have really good veterans that steady them at times, and so for us, it was just continue to do what we did to get here. Even in the games that we lost, we didn't play our best. We played the average game at best, and there were some one-possession games, and when we've played good basketball, we've had some blowouts, and so.
That's right. It's going to be an exciting Game 7 tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. for our time on TNT. So you could definitely expect us talking Houston Rockets with Trenton tomorrow night. But that does it for your sports. Amaya?
Thank you so much, Ray. Now, one performer unusually acts in a captivating audience around the world. See how she's putting a new twist on a classic story. With just a wig, a nose, and some clever footwork, Annie Kling transformed her feet into expressive characters full of drama and charm. The self-proclaimed only foot puppeteer in the world is preparing a performance for children in Germany, using her legs as bodies and her hands as arms. Klings brings her fairy tales and comedy to life in a style she invented herself. Developed from years of experts with the mask and physical threats, she performed around the world, from Japan to even appeared in Britain Got Talent, which is interesting. Wow. Now, people have gifts and talents. I think I can use my hand a little bit.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
I guess in her case, she can't break a leg.
Break a leg.
That's true.
Yeah, I like that one.
That is true.
Let's go to weather. Not sure how's that weather going to be looking this
Let's see. It'll be looking pretty nice for your day tomorrow. Sunny skies, highs in the 80s. Cool start tomorrow morning, lows in the 50s. All right. Feeling nice. But the rain comes back Monday afternoon. Last to Tuesday, Wednesday, possible alert day on Tuesday for maybe a severe weather threat. You get closer in time, we get a better handle on that. But finally, by Friday, seeing the sun again.
Yes. Well, thank you for joining us. We hope to see you back here Sunday for 25 News Now weekends at 5:30. Good night.